This is Hannah. Hi Hannah. She likes strange stories and atypical situations. Hannah has a vlog where she speaks about her great passion, the 1980s, and she also chats about fashion and a bit about music and history. At school, Hannah had a lesson on the collapse of the Soviet Union. She thought that there must be lots of interesting stories about the USSR's history, the arms race, the KGB and spies, space travel, and that's how the idea for another film took shape in her mind. Hannah needs a huge amount of materials such as photographs and maps, and such materials must originate from verified sources because her viewers frequently ask where she got such content. She has two options. The first is to create a film that she would then send to her history teacher and show in the classroom. Any materials can be used for such a project as long as she attributes their authors and sources. If she takes this option, her fame and accolades will end as soon as she leaves the classroom. The end. Which is why Hannah took the second option, to produce a film that will only use materials which can be easily altered, remixed or used and then put on the internet. Above all, Hannah pays attention to copyright. She wants to be certain that her content can be freely used, so she selects from the public domain that which is available under a free license, for example, from Creative Commons, and obviously from her own materials too. But what does it mean that content is subject to Creative Commons free licenses, and where can films, photographs and music with such licenses be found? Hannah knows the website creativecommons.org and that there are two types of free Creative Commons licenses. The first is CC BY, recognition of authorship. Hannah wants to use music under this license. She checks out the free music archive to find some appropriate music. In her film's closing credits, she lists the author's name together with the name of the work and a link to the website where the content was taken. This is required by the license. The second is CC BY-SA, recognition of authorship, with the same conditions. In such case, information about the author must also be clearly provided, and Hannah will also have to clearly indicate which of the materials fall under this license, or will have to release the entire film under a CC BY-SA license. She adds 4.0, which is the latest license version. This enables Hannah to use Wikipedia resources that are covered by a CC BY-SA license. From the German version of this online encyclopedia, Hannah downloads a photograph of the Kremlin facade on which CCCP is replaced with figures of double-headed eagles. Hannah adds her signature, which she always does when she wants someone to be able to freely use her work. She signs with a pseudonym instead of her full name. Another option is CC0, public domain dedication, which allows the free use of works without the need for an author's signature, although such is always worth having. Hannah also searches for photographs on services that have their own licenses and which work in a similar way. On Pixabay, she finds photos of a Volga car. Then on Upsplash, she searches for photos of Soviet artifacts, including a cosmonaut mosaic. Hannah looks for historic icons related to Soviet spaceflight on the Noun project, with various free licenses. She selects a graphic with Leica. She finds that the NASA website has lots of materials, photographs and mission descriptions, including those related to the USSR, such as Leica's flight. Hannah then searches the Europeanaea portal for old-school drawings of the moon. Europeanaea is a digital library, virtual museum and online archive, all in one. Resources available in the public domain can be found there. This means that the content authors died at least 70 years ago, or that the materials were never subject to copyright. Such work has the information public domain or crossed out 0, but sometimes the date of death of all authors, including translators, must also be independently verified. Hannah has finished editing her film, and now it can be placed on the internet. Since the film mainly comprises open resources, she can upload it on a free license. On YouTube's license and distribution category, Hannah chooses the option Creative Commons recognition of authorship. This enables the film to also be searched for according to license. The film has been completed and is available on the internet. Hannah can now send the link to her history teacher, parents and friends, and announce the film's release via social media.